Yo, yo, yo. I can't walk. Physical abuse of any kind between lovers is unacceptable and should be the #1 justifiable reason why people end intimate relationships. However, because there are varying degrees of physical abuse, some people out here believe the level of abuse they're experiencing isn't enough to do anything about it. Okay, but I'm just saying, if someone's getting physically abused in your home and it looks anything like this, leaving either or both of you looking like this, you need to get the fuck up out of that relationship as soon as possible. If you get beat up by your partner unprovoked, then they kick your ass again when you ask them about it, that motherfucker doesn't love you anymore and will continue to fuck you up like Ike Turner beat Tina for the remainder of your relationship together.
What's love got to do
with it when the person you thought you trusted the most in this world's physical abuse forces you to wear sunglasses and extra makeup whenever they allow you to go outside?
Inquiring minds want to know.
And it's not just men physically abusing the shit out of people in 2023. I'm pretty sure there's some MMA trained Ronda Rousey bitches out here putting their partners in arm bars at least 3 times a week too. So with that being said, if you're beating the absolute dog shit out of your spouse on a regular basis, all my crippled ass can tell you is,
stop it. Get some help.
If you happen to be the victim of extreme physical abuse by your spouse on a regular basis, all I can tell you is that person will never love you the way you feel you deserve to be loved by them again, if they ever even loved your ass at all to begin with. Choosing to stay in that abusive relationship any longer will only give you more
emotional damage,
which only lowers your chances at attracting another motherfucker who might be willing to put up with the excess baggage you bring to any new relationship.
The truth hurts.
Unless you're getting seriously injured as a result, don't expect to receive any uninvited help from strangers neither, because most people, including myself, don't want to carry the burden of interfering in and ultimately ending a relationship that you decided to get yourself into. Instead, I just want to assure you that we are all talking about how stupid you are behind your back for staying with that abusive motherfucker.
Because you're a dumbass.
And we're most likely going to make up excuses to justify doing
absolutely nothing
for you the next time you get your ass kicked again like Horton the elephant from those Dr. Seuss books.
Ooh, Horton hears domestic violence in the next apartment and doesn't call 911.
You think it's easy working all day?
No.
You think I like it?
I don't think it's easy, but yes, I do think you like it.
No, I like being away from you because I can't stand looking at you. Yeah. You think I want to do that? You think I want to hurt you?
Not in front of me.
I don't want to hurt you.
I'm sure there's 2 sides to this.
As the victim, only you can stop one-sided domestic violence, just like
only you can prevent forest fires.
What inspired me to talk about this was a couple of weeks ago, I saw social media personality Destiny's wife, Melina, ask the Whatever podcast this question about domestic violence that went viral because people didn't like the answers the panel gave her.
If there's someone that's very, very young, might be really religious and like values marriage a lot, and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, and then a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive.
From who?
From both.
This is so rare.
Anyone
so
really.
Rare.
It happens.
Go on.
My point is, even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
it is.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people to do? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce. I mean, that's not a real thing.
What? People got really mad at this guy who calls himself Modern Life Dating, or MLD for short, for his answer to the question.
You can separate, but you can't actually divorce. That's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive?
You gotta endure. People are too...
You want to stick in
people nowadays are just pussies. Everybody fucking quits. Everybody gives up. It's too hard. I'm this XYZ. This is why I'm special, so I can fuck up this entire situation based upon me being special. And the reality is people just haven't learned to fucking endure. There have been hard times in relationship. I'm sure you guys had hard times in relationship. Any relationship has hard times. Okay. And it is what it is. You need to push through and you need to endure, because we're in this hold on, because we're in this situation now, like where everybody's just creating these like super nuanced, like 1% example of like, well, what if the kid's fucking transgender, black, and abused, and he's a Black Lives Matter supporter? Like, cool, okay, yeah. I get like that one fucking minute situation.
The fuck is he talking about?
I really hate it when people use random buzzwords to cover up the fact that they don't really know what they're talking about.
That's that shit I don't like.
If they stopped having sex for 6 months or longer but they're still hitting each other, I suggest they just give up, take the L, and file for divorce. What's the point of living with your wife or husband if you're not fucking anymore because you're constantly fighting? All the while wasting away what many consider to be both of your sexual peaks to try to save a marriage that's never gonna get any better.
What the fuck am I trying to prove here?
But if they're hitting each other and they are still fucking, as cold and heartless as MLD's answer may sound to a lot of people, I reluctantly have to agree with him that they must
endure
their abusive relationship for at least a while longer because of the circumstances of the original question. Melina said they were 18 to 20 years old, so I'm just gonna assume they were high school sweethearts that were virgins who grew up in the church, so they waited until they were married before having sex. They immediately have a kid, but for whatever reason, starting this young family causes problems that both parents feel can only be resolved by putting hands on each other.
Kendrick Douglas, I hit my wife.
And I'm his wife. I hit his ass back.
Resorting to violence to get your point across in a relationship is proof that you don't respect your partner when you disagree with them. Advice from family and friends on either side of the argument is useless because each person is only going to tell their side of the story to them, painting themselves as the victims. I think they should get counseling from either the church or couples therapy so they can create a safe space to share their true feelings about each other without the fear of getting hit for it. Because now there's an impartial third party involved who's going to play the role of moderator during the debate or possibly referee if it turns into another fight.
Yeah.
Most people think something spectacular is supposed to happen when God decides to talk to us, but I don't think it works that way. If God really does exist, I think he talks to us through certain people who come into our lives to deliver his message to us when we need to hear it the most. I think this hypothetical young religious married couple need to talk to someone who's qualified to handle problems like this so that God can talk through that motherfucker to tell them to keep their abusive hands to themselves.
And that's the truth, with some cheese on it. Yeah, ain't no meatloaf between these buns.
And who knows what they might learn along the way if and when they decide to honestly open up and find out why they feel the need to hit each other all the time. Most people learn this type of behavior from their parents who probably have been hitting them since childhood.
Oh, mama, please go on back to bed, mama.
What kind of man stays out till 2:30 in the morning and then comes back looking like a bruised turd?
Mama,
Don't you talk back.
Don't talk back to your mother.
What'd I do?
You got that slap cause you with him. And I know you part of whatever badness he's into. You got some explaining to do in the morning, Mr. Gentleman. Now you think on that.
Oof.
Maybe they've been hitting people their entire lives, but just never really got checked for it.
According to witnesses, LaMilton asked his grandmother to buy him some fried chicken. When she refused, he got angry. LaMilton, did you hit your grandmother?
Yeah, I beat her ass.
But why?
Because I asked for some fried chicken and she said no. What'd she expect?
Here he is assaulting his grandmother. Again, and again, and yet again. Then he stops, walks to the counter to order the chicken, then goes back to beat on his grandmother some more.
You have to understand, he really likes that fried chicken.
Personally, I think physical abuse for some people might be some type of weird fetish that begs the obvious question.
You're getting some kind of sick sexual thrill off this, aren't you?
You sick freak!
If the marriage doesn't improve after a year of therapy, just give up and file for divorce because I think someone's gonna get killed if they stay together. I could only hope that they learned some anger management techniques to help them cope with their violent tendencies.
I want you to say, I'm angry. It's okay. I'll process my anger. I love myself. Woozah.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yes, you do know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Before they get themselves into any new relationships where they terrorize two new victims who had
absolutely nothing
To do with the abuse, they're gonna have to learn to
endure.
When they decide to fuck these two brutal Bible thumpers who have trouble keeping their hands to themselves when they get angry.
Now you think on that.
Oof. And that's all I had to say about that.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, please subscribe, and tell me what you think in the comment section below.
Peace. I'm Audi 5000.
Those who wish to follow me, I welcome with my hand. Thank you for being a friend.
And those are my thoughts for this video. But then again, what do I know? I'm just an old crippled bastard. Ooh, 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 ooh. I ain't too proud to beg for your money, so like, share, and subscribe.